Big Gunner Scout Report, and today we'll be talking about Ben White, who looks like he's about to complete a £50 million move to Arsenal once he returns from his holidays. So what do we know about Ben White? We know that he's a young English centre-back, 23 years old, and he can play across the back four as well. Could also play in centre midfield, as he's played already this season for Brighton. So we know that he's quite versatile, and that's a good thing for Arsenal because we do suffer from injuries, and Arteta does like to tinker quite a bit with tactics, so it'll be interesting to see how many different places he will play for Arsenal, but we know primarily he'll be a centre-back for us. So another question people have asked is why the need for Ben White. So I've got a little comparison of the centre-backs that Arsenal currently have on the books, and the first thing we'll look at is their tackles per 90 minutes, and Ben White is actually fourth on the list behind Mavropanos, Mari and Holding, but ahead of Chambers, Gabriel and Saliba. So again, it's hard to sort of gauge it off by tackling, because depending on which team you play for, obviously there's going to be more chance that you will be making tackles, and obviously he hasn't just played centre back this season, he's also played right back, which means he may face less tackles playing out wide there. So we'll take it with a pinch of salt, but we do know that he does have a 60% tackle rate, which is decent. You would hope to be in around 70-80%, so that is something that he can improve on when he comes to Arsenal. When looking at the second slide, we can see that for interceptions per 90 minutes, Ben White is second of the current Arsenal centre-backs. And again, it's hard to tell. I mean, stats are, you can look at stats and make anyone look great, you can make anyone look bad. He does play in a free, so there may be less chance for him actually to make an interception, so it's good that his number per 90 minutes is quite high. And then looking at fouls per 90 minutes, he doesn't make a foul per game. Gabriel does, and I think that's because Gabriel is quite rash in a challenge, and Ben White is a little bit more, he likes to get in ahead of the defender, attackers as well, but he's a little bit more reserved, he's a little more thoughtful in his challenges, so hopefully they can strike a good partnership together. And then looking at clearances per 90 minutes, this one it shows how much defending Arsenal were actually doing last season, because everybody has more than 2 clearances per 90 minutes, and Ben White has 1.4, so it does show that Arsenal were under the cosh quite a bit last season. And then his passing accuracy is 83.2, which is half decent, but again, people were kind of asking why are we going after Ben White when we have Saliba, and as we can look, see Saliba's passing accuracy is 91.3 per 90 minutes. Again, different league, so that could be the reason behind his passing accuracy, but we also know that they are both good on the ball. Ben White played in various different positions as well, so I was sure that passing will be like crossing and things like that will come into it, because obviously Ben White did play right back as well. So yeah, it's interesting because it's, like I say, loads of Arsenal fans are like, why are we going after Ben White when we do have Saliba there? And there is one of the things that Saliba does excel in, and that's his passing. So on this slide we just have Ben White's heat map, and you can see obviously he plays right-sided centre-back of a free, and he has played right-back, so that's why that right side is just completely hot, because that's the position that he plays. He didn't score this season. Gabriel scored 2, Saliba scored 1, and the rest of our centre backs didn't get on the score sheet, but again, that's not what their jobs are, so that's not something that we're going to be sort of worrying about. So yeah, one of the things I wanted to talk about is something that I don't think he's really known for, and this is recovery speed. And looking at this clip is taken from this picture, so it's taken from the Arsenal game, and Tierney plays a pass down the left hand side, and it's a race between him and Gabriel, and Martinelli, sorry, and we know that Martinelli is very, very quick, and he just shows his speed actually. And gets to the ball before Martinelli, as we can see in this second screenshot. One thing I would say though that I've noticed, but from watching a few of Ben White's games, is that he does seem to somehow get on the wrong side when he's defending, and that means he's having to make slide tackles. So for me, that obviously is probably a weakness, because it shows that his positional sense isn't always quite there. But again, playing in a 3 at the back and playing in 2 at the back, when you play at 3, playing a 3, you're probably out of position more, because you can be that one to go chasing the ball. But he does have that recovery speed, and yeah, as I say, to catch Martinelli isn't an easy job. And again, on this one, he's on the wrong side of Watkins. Grealish crosses the ball in, but he manages to get an amazing blocking and tackle and put it out for a corner. So that would be one thing just to be looking at, is why he's on the wrong side a couple of times. But one thing that we do see is that he's got that recovery speed, which is a good thing, because it's been a while since we've had 2 quick centre backs. So yeah, that'll be very interesting. Yeah, and just to get, we briefly mentioned his passing earlier, and he does like a switch of play, which there are so many instances where we could look through all of his games and see that he does like this long diagonal pass. And in a couple of games against Newcastle, he registered 98% pass accuracy, and that was 84 passes that he hit out of 96 went to where they were supposed to, that's amazing. That's a lot of passes, so that'll be something to look forward to. And then again, in the Wolves match, he actually does that same diagonal ball, and in this match he hit 100% pass accuracy, 26 out of 26. So again, when we're sort of talking about Saliba, and we're talking about the way Arteta wants to play, and we're talking about Ben White, passing is going to be a massive thing, because if you can draw people in and then hit that pass, it takes players out of the game. So we know Arteta likes to pass out from the back, so he's going to be a welcome signing for Arsenal. And after he's won the ball, he's got 2 players pressing him, and he manages to use a bit of skill, and he actually comes out with the ball and then lays a pass off to the right back. So again, these things are what actually bumps players' prices up. It's not just that they could defend, it's what they could do after they've defended the situation. Can they be useful with the ball after? And again, it's one of those things that he earned rave reviews for when he was at Leeds, and it's why Leeds tried to sign him back for £25 million, and that was rejected at the start of the season. So now he's played a full season in the Premiership, plus that tax of being young and English has meant that we will be paying £50 million for him. But again, it's not always about transfer fees, it's about what that player will be worth to your team. And I think the way Arteta wants to play the way Arsenal want to play, I think he's going to be very integral. So £50 million may seem a lot now, but a couple of years down the line, I think it'll be money well spent. And again, just to go back to one of the areas I mentioned earlier about him needing to improve, and it's his heading. On this screenshot, he actually beats Harry Kane in the air, but it was only 50% success rate in his aerial duels per 90 minutes last season. So again, there's room for improvement but I just don't think it's something that he can. You can't do much about your height. You can work on your strength and being smart and putting attackers off, but in terms of actually being able to win the ball, it's something that's really hard to improve on. But I think there's little tips and tricks that he could do to make sure that he wins a few more aerial duels, and I'm hoping that he will be taught these things. So just to wrap up my thoughts on signing Ben White, I think it's going to be a good signing. At the end of the day, it's going to be questioned because of the price tag. It's going to be questioned because we do have Saliba there. We did have the 3rd best defence in the Premiership, so to a lot of people it seems kind of strange that we'll be using £50 million to sign a centre back when it's probably needed more in the attacking positions, i.e. number 10, and in the right back position replacing Bellerin. But I'm not mad at this signing. I'm not mad at all, because I do feel like he's got to be a very good player for us. Having watched him a few times last season, and having had to go watch a few matches to do this scout report, I do think we have a very, very good player in our hands, and I think he's going to just open up another dimension for us, because we have lost David Luiz, who for me was the best ball playing centre back we had, and now he's gone, so we had to replace him. But we needed to replace him with somebody that has a bit of experience. He's only got 1 year of experience in the Premiership, but obviously he had that whole year in the Championship, and there's no better place to learn your trade than the Championship for how rough and all the tumbles that you can get in that league. So I think he's going to come in, and I think he's going to slot straight in. You have the number 1 and number 2 centre backs. I think he's going to be our main centre back, with Gabriel backing him up. But I do think Gabriel is going to be the one that's going to be going for the headers, and Ben White's going to be there to sweep up because of his recovery pace. But it's going to be a good partnership, because they're both interesting. They both like to be first in with that challenge. They both like to be right on the attacker. So hopefully they can spark a quick partnership and get talking to each other, and hopefully build something for the future, because they're both roughly the same age, and this could be a partnership for years to come. And it's good that Ben White can play in a 2, he can play in a 3, so it does give us more options if we ever need to go back to playing 3 at the back. So yeah, please, if you enjoyed that, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. There's going to be a lot more scout reports coming for players that Arsenal are going to be signing and players that we're going to be looking at. So please make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you very soon.